Hi everyone, long time no see. How's everyone been? I've received a lot of messages from our followers asking us to update. Also, there were various questions. Most of the questions have been about rotary evaporators, how to use them, their principles, etc. Okay, let's get started. Our rotary evaporator has been in use for almost 5 years. So as you can see, it's a bit worn out, but it doesn't affect its normal use. As for the principle, it's a vacuum distillation method. So what is vacuum distillation? Let me give you an example. If we leave water at room temperature, it needs to reach 100 degrees Celsius to boil. But if we take it to a high altitude area, the pressure drops, and it might start boiling at 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. The rotary evaporator mainly consists of 3 parts. The first is called the circulating water vacuum pump. Its function is to create a near vacuum state inside the distillation equipment. This is what we call vacuum distillation. It lowers the boiling point of the alcohol in the material flask, and it won't affect the flavor of the materials because the required temperature is quite low, around 35 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. Once it reaches the boiling point, the liquid vaporizes. After vaporization and condensation, it turns back into liquid. That liquid is then collected into our receiving flask. Our circulating water vacuum pump has a vacuum gauge. When the pointer reaches 0.09 or below, around -0.1, the rotary evaporator can then function properly. When we carry out distillation, we need to raise the water bath. Since this is an older model, it requires manual lifting. Most newer models use automatic lift pressure. The larger the contact area between the water bath and the material flask, the faster the heating. We also make the material flask rotate. The faster the rotation, the more efficient the liquid collection. When we are vacuuming, if your vacuum pump does not reach a pressure of 0.09 or below, it means there might be a leak in the distillation system. In this case, you need to use vacuum grease. It helps to prevent air leakage at the flask's opening. Some followers have asked us about separating the heads and tails during distillation. We usually use pre-made alcohol like vodka, gin, whiskey, etc. in our store. We add fresh ingredients to the material flask, so there is no need to separate the heads. We generally distill everything together. As for the heads, the alcohol in the materials is a mixture of alcohol and water. So, the heads have a strong flavor. Later in the distillation, it becomes more like distilled water. If you're distilling fruit-based alcohol, like fermenting pineapple with yeast, and then distilling it in the rotary evaporator, you will get some methanol in the heads. Methanol is very harmful, so you need to purchase a methanol meter online to measure it and discard the heads. When we use regular alcohol in the store, this isn't a concern. We generally raise the water bath temperature from 25 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius in 5 degrees Celsius increments. If the temperature rises too quickly, it can cause boiling all at once, and everything could overflow into the machine. In this case, you will need to disassemble the machine, clean it, and start over. So the temperature must be increased slowly. The liquid we collect at the end has a strong flavor. It won't have any acidity, sweetness, or spiciness, just the flavor itself. When you taste the distilled liquid while pinching your nose, it has no noticeable smell. But when we add this liquid to a cocktail, its flavor always takes the forefront. It makes the structure of the cocktail fuller and the layers clearer. That's all for today's discussion on rotary evaporators. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment below. That's it for today. See you next time.